So I've already started knitting this tank top with some of the leftover yarn I had, but my next step is to reclaim the yarn from this sweater. Hey nerdy knitter, I'm working on adding a few new tank tops and tees to my summer wardrobe. Thought you'd want to come along with me and look at some fun patterns that you might want to add to your to knit list. Now I have this old sweater that I am reclaiming the yarn from. This is a cotton hemp blend. Here's the sweater right here. I'm going to be reclaiming this yarn this afternoon. I'll make a whole video about how I'm going to do that. So I can cast on and knit a new tank top, which I've already started right here, but I'll save that pattern for the end. So I've got my iPad here so we can check out these 12 summer tank tops and tees together. First pattern on this list is the Floodlight Tee from KNITS Fiber Arts. This uses their willow, linen, silk, and fingering weight yarn along with mohair. And you can see there's some subtle stripes here in the yoke, and that's done with the mohair yarn. Now this is worked from the top down in the round. It's a circular yoke construction. Starts out flat to create that keyhole tie in the back, and then you join to work in the round after that's complete. The edges are finished with a bit of I-cord. It's really very pretty and feminine. I'd say it's probably suitable for an advanced beginner because of that keyhole shaping and the I-cord. It comes in 11 sizes from a 32-inch to a 68-inch bust. The next one is a free pattern, Gemini by Jane Richmond for Knitty. Now this tee is knit with a cotton linen blend. It's in a DK weight yarn. It's cute cap sleeves worked from the top down using a raglan construction method. You can see the seams right there on the garment. Now the yoke features this pretty eyelet design, and the body's worked in stockinette stitch. Now that eyelet mesh is worked along the sleeves and on one side of the body, but it's a reversible piece, so you can decide whether that eyelet mesh should be in the front or the back. And the sleeves and hem are finished with just a bit of ribbing. So this is probably perfect for an adventurous beginner. It's just a basic raglan construction with a bit of stitch pattern along that yoke, and it comes in 7 sizes from 26-inch to a 50-inch bust. Now, if you're looking for a tank top instead of a tee, then you might want to look at the next one, the Streamline Tank by 2 of Wands. Now this one's knit with a DK weight yarn. It has a V-neck top, and it's worked in 2 pieces from the bottom up, and then they're seamed together. And it looks like the front and the back are exactly the same, so it's reversible too. Now the body is worked in stockinette stitch with touches of fisherman's rib along the hem, the sides, and at the neckline as a decorative detail, and along the straps as well. Now this is probably perfect for an adventurous beginner. It's basic stitch patterns. There's a bit of a challenge for those who aren't familiar with fisherman's rib, which isn't really hard once you know how to work it, and it's a good way to learn about seaming different garments. This one comes in 8 sizes from a 33-inch to a 61-inch bust. Then we have a pattern from Joji Locatelli, her staple linen top, and linen is perfect for summer garments. Now this lightweight summer top is knit with a sport weight linen yarn. It's knit from the top down. Front and the back are worked flat in 2 pieces, and then when they're complete to the armhole, you join them together and you work in the round to the hem. The body's worked in stockinette stitch, and there's a bit of ribbing along the center, front, and back for some decorative detailing. And this is probably suitable for an adventurous or an advanced beginner. Construction's a little bit more involved. Comes in 10 sizes from a 28-inch to a 68-inch bust. Next is another free pattern, the Notched Hem Tank Top from Pearl Soho. This one includes a photo tutorial on their website as well. Now this tank top is knit in fingering weight linen yarn. It's worked in the round from the bottom up, but it's a little bit different. You start by working the back and the front separately, then you join to work in the round up to the underarms. Now there's a bit of ribbing and a simple slip stitch pattern along the front and the back hem. And then when you're working the body, the front and the back are stockinette stitch, and then there's some reverse stockinette in the side panels. There's also some shaping and some short rows involved, but with that photo tutorial, it will help you along as you go. But because of all of these different details with the stitch patterns and the shaping and the short rows, I'd say it's more suitable for an intermediate to advanced knitter because of that construction method and shaping. It comes in 5 sizes from a 34-inch to a 46-inch bust. Next is another cute pattern from KNITS Fiber Arts. It uses their pink label lace weight yarn, the Seaboard Tank. Now this one's worked from the top down, so the front and back are worked separately, flat, and then you join to work in the round after the armhole, and then you work to the hem in the round. Then the shoulders can be joined to finish the garment, making it almost seamless. Now it's just stockinette stitch, and there are some bands of eyelet mesh with a bit of ribbing and an interesting side panel along each side. So this is probably suitable for an adventurous beginner. It's easy construction, it has a basic stitch pattern. Then it comes in 6 sizes, from a 28-inch to a 48-inch bust. Now we still have more patterns to look at, but if you're enjoying this video, could you give it a thumbs up so it can reach more knitters? I would really appreciate it. Next is a simple, lovely tee called Summer by Anka Strick. Now this is oversized, it's really pretty. It uses a DK weight silk and linen blend yarn, so I bet that feels really lovely. It's worked seamlessly from the top down in stockinette stitch. There's a bit of ribbing at the hem and the sleeves and the neckline. The neck is shaped with some short rows, and you work the dropped saddle shoulder with increases along the shoulders. Then you work back and front separately until the armhole depth is reached. And then they're joined to work in the round down to the bottom ribbing. And then after the body's complete, you finish the neckline and sleeve ribbing. Now, this is suitable for an advanced beginner to intermediate knitter because there's the short rows and the saddle shoulder shaping, so this makes it a step up from a basic pattern. It comes in 8 sizes from 37 to 67-inch bust. Now the next one is just a lovely, lacy, very feminine top, Watership by Devin Ventry from Knitting McPurley. This one uses a fingering weight wool yarn. Yes, you can wear wool in the summer. It's worked top down with a round yoke construction. The body is just basic stockinette stitch, but the yoke has a pretty lace and baubles pattern going on. And there's also a bit of ribbing for the neckline and the sleeves, and the body's finished with a deep rib hemline. And this one also includes a video tutorial, so it's probably suitable for an adventurous beginner. The construction looks pretty standard, and it doesn't look like there are any short rows, but with that bauble and lace, that might take a bit more skill. Comes in 8 sizes from a 30-inch to a 65-inch bust. Next is another free pattern, Hearts on Fire from Drops Design. Now this cute tank top is knit in a sport weight cotton yarn. The body's worked in the round from the bottom up to the underarm. Then you work the front and the back separately, working flat. You'll also be separating to create that V-neck shaping along the front and working the shoulders separately. The straps are worked along the front shoulders and then they're sewn down to the back. There's an all-over eyelet pattern that's worked in a stockinette stitch background and a front panel with some lace and some texture. I'd say this is good for an advanced beginner to an intermediate knitter. There's the stitch patterns going on and there's some shaping for the front, and it's all happening all at once, which can be confusing. And the patterns from Drops are a bit brief on instructions, so not super beginner friendly. And it comes in 6 sizes from a 38-inch to a 62-inch bust. Next on the list is another circular yoke construction tee, Breezeway by Laura Ayler. Now this cute simple tee is knit with a wool blend fingering weight yarn. It's simple knit, it's seamless from the top down with the yoke shaping, and there are some raglan increases as well. It has a slight high-low hem and it uses garter stitch for the neckline, sleeves, and hem. It's worked in stockinette, but it's reversible. Either the stockinette or reverse stockinette side can face outwards. This one's probably suitable for an advanced beginner or intermediate knitter. There are some short rows, there's a specialty bind off, there's that combination of yoke and raglan shaping, but this one comes in 9 sizes from 24-inch to a 54-inch bust. Then there is the May top by Maiju KP. This one I really like. It has a cute ruffle detail at the shoulders that I just think is adorable. It uses a lace weight silk yarn held double, so this equals about a fingering weight yarn. It's worked seamlessly from the top down. This one uses a contiguous saddle shoulder construction. So those saddle shoulders are worked first, the small squares of fabric. And then you pick up stitches along the back and the front, and then you work the back and the front separately to the underarm. Then you join them to work in the round down to the hem. It's worked in stockinette stitch and that's cute little gathered ruffle at the top, and it's finished with an I-cord edge at the neckline and a ribbed hemline. This one also includes a video tutorial, which is probably very helpful for the construction method. But because of that construction method, I would still classify this as probably an intermediate knitting pattern. It comes in 9 sizes from 31-inch to a 63-inch bust. Now last on the list is the pattern that I've decided to knit for myself, and I had a few criteria in mind. I wanted something that had wider shoulders. I didn't want a t-shirt, I didn't want sleeves, but I wanted a tank top, but I wanted wider shoulders, and I also wanted more of an A-line shaping. I don't mind it being a little fitted at the bust, but I wanted it to flare out over my tummy and my hips to make it more comfy and relaxed for the summer. And the other criteria I had was that I just wanted it to be simple, something that was just plain stockinette, maybe a bit of shaping, but nothing too complicated. And the one that fit the bill for me is Sayer by Julie Hoover for Pearl Soho. So this is a lightweight, wide shoulder tank top. It uses their cattail silk yarn held double, which works out to about a DK weight yarn, and the yarn I'm using falls within that category. And it features a stockinette stitch body with some garter stitch at the edges. It's an A-line shape, and it's also reversible. One side has V-neck shaping and the other has a crew neck shaping, so you can wear either side as the front. Now, beginners who are ready to knit their first garment should be fine with this one. It's really very simple. It comes in 8 sizes ranging from a 36-inch to a 62-inch bust. So I've already started knitting this tank top with some of the leftover yarn I had, but my next step is to reclaim the yarn from this sweater. So I'm going to make a video about that, and I'll put it right here. So if you're interested in watching that, then you can click right there, learn how I reclaim the yarn from one sweater to knit a brand new sweater. And I'll see you in the next video.